Hi. Hi. I'll turn and face you. Welcome. I'm Karen, and we're going to do a slow, strong flow this morning at Common Bond Yoga. And I've been asking a lot of people, like, what are you in the mood for, and kind of feeling in my own body, and really getting a lot of requests for neck and shoulders, including in my own body. I'm requesting neck and shoulders too. So I'm going to do a little more focus on that this morning. And I really want this to be a class that is open for all levels. So grab a block or two if you have those handy, and if not, no big whoop. And we're going to start in a child's pose today. So I want you to take a child's pose that's comfortable for you and your body. So you might take a block and place it underneath your forehead, just to give you a little more space. And your knees, you might like having your knees apart or bringing your knees closer together. And just do whatever feels good with your arms. You can bring them back by your heels or out in front of you. And then rock your head a few times from side to side. And just start to arrive. So arriving in the moment, in your body. Just do whatever feels good with your arms. You can bring them back. All right. Start to slow down your breath. And think about breathing into the back of your body. Breathe deeply down into the belly and feel the expansion of the belly against the thighs. Breathe all the way up to the upper back, the shoulders, the neck. And ideally in your yoga practice, you want to be breathing in and out through the nose. And at any point you can move into Ujjayi breath, where you're constricting the muscles at the back of your throat, to help you create a more powerful breath, and a breath that's going to bring heat into the body, as well as focus, strength, and ease. So your breath is one of the most important parts of your practice. And so every time you get distracted by your own thoughts, or you get stressed out, something feels really challenging, just come back to your breath. And if you can't get control of the breath, then come down and rest until you can. So this is a good posture to come back into anytime you need a little break. Now as you exhale, start to gently engage your core muscles a little bit more. So as you exhale, start to draw the navel back and in towards the spine. And then as you inhale, relax those muscles and allow them to stretch with the breath. Let the shoulders naturally rise and fall towards the ears. So you want your body to be relaxed enough throughout your whole entire practice that your body is able to move with your breath, to be fluid, while at the same time maintaining that strength and stability, especially for your bones. So again, your core strength is active as you relax a little bit more around the outer body, especially around the shoulders and the neck today. And now if you've got a block underneath your forehead, go ahead and pull that block out from underneath you, and we're going to walk the hands over to the left. And you can walk your left hand all the way around and grab onto your heel from behind, or maybe just bring your left hand behind your back. And I want you to really reach over through the right arm, push down into the fingertips, and lift your armpit and your elbow up away from the floor. At the same time, try to press your right hip back towards the back right corner of your mat. And now breathe deeply into that right side body, so you're creating a stretch with your breath. And then walk your hands back and over to the other side. So now reach over with the left arm. You can grab onto your heel with your right hand, push down through the hand, and lift the left armpit and the elbow up away from the ground. Press your left hip back and breathe into the left side of your body. And walk your hands back to the middle. We're going to come up onto the knees, and I'm going to tuck the toes for broken toe. So this can be a challenging posture, but it's a really important one to stretch through the toes, through the bottoms of the feet. Now, if your knees don't like to bend this deeply, something you can do is take a block or something like that. And this is something I used to do right after I had my ACL surgery and my knees didn't bend very well. Put a block between your hips and your heels and sit that way as well, and just breathe. And then you can untuck the toes and come up onto your knees now, and we're going to do a little movement again for the neck and the shoulders. So from here, I want you to take both hands and place them one on top of the other on the sacrum. Tuck your chin. So I want you to think about the alignment in your neck here. So tuck the chin and reach upward through the crown of your head. And now I'm going to take my left arm and sweep it out to the side and up overhead on an inhale. And now as you exhale, sweep your arm back behind you, send your hips back to your heels, and turn your head to the right, laying the left side of your head down onto the mat. And now let's do that on the other side. So I'm going to come back up to the knees. I'm going to sweep my right arm out and up overhead. Inhale. And exhale, hips go back and turn your head to the left. Do that again. Inhale, left arm comes up. And exhale, head turns to the right. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, head to the left. Okay, so do that again on the left side. Inhale, left arm up, stay here. And I'm going to take my right leg out to the right. Take a big breath in and stretch through that left side body. And now bend over to the right. Now you can take your right hand down to the leg. You can also flex your toes and point your toes up at the sky and just feel, again, that deep stretch of the whole left side of the body. Keep breathing. And now inhale and bring both arms up over your head. As you exhale, bring your left hand down to the floor. I'm going to keep my right foot pressing down. And I'm going to do a little bit of twisting, a little movement here. So on your inhale, I want you to twist your spine and turn your chest up towards the sky. You want to feel like you're reaching back behind you a little more. And now as you exhale, reach forward and down. Your fingertips might touch the ground. On your inhale, twist open. And on your exhale, twist down. And keep reaching through that right arm. Inhale, twist open. And last time, exhale, twist down. This time, come out of that twist, come all the way back up. Both arms reach overhead. And as you exhale, we'll come back into a half child's pose. So your right leg stays extended out to the right. I'm going to take my hands back to my sacrum and lay the forehead down on the mat. You can keep your hands by your side here as well. Take a few breaths. And now hands might come beside you as you lift yourself up a little bit and come back into that child's pose. So bring the right leg in and bring your hands back to your sacrum. All right, let's go back to that movement of coming back up to the knees. So on your inhale, we're going to lift and sweep the right arm out and up. And as you exhale, send your hips back and turn your head to the left. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and turn your head to the right. Inhale, right arm up, and we'll stay here this time. Take your left leg over to the left. Inhale and reach to the right side. Exhale, bend to the left. Again, that foot can flex up. The hand can come to the leg. Stretch. Breathe into that right side body. On your inhale, bring both arms up. And right hand comes down to the ground beside you. Stretch through the left side. So really push through the foot. Stretch through the leg, through the hip, through that whole left side, out through the fingers. And now on your inhale, twist your spine upward. Look up. As you exhale, twist downward. Stretch over and maybe touch the floor with your left hand. Inhale, twist open. And exhale, twist down. Inhale, twist open. And exhale, twist down. This time, come on up, both arms up. Exhale back into that half child's pose. So hips go back, forehead to the mat, breathe. Feel that stretch through the left inner thigh. Come up to your hands and your knees. Spread the fingers out really wide. And on an inhale, pull your chest through. So we're going to come into a cow pose and we're going to hold it. And I want you to really actively pull your heart through. Try not to shoot your chin too far forward. Your gaze is definitely lifted. Your head is lifted. But we still want to keep that space through the back of the neck. Sitting bones are reaching up to the sky. So what you should feel is a deep stretch to the front of your body. And what I also want you to feel is an engagement in the muscles in the back of your body here. On your exhale, now come into that cat pose and hold. So round your spine as deeply as you can. And then send your shoulders forward a little bit of your wrists. And I want you to rock from side to side. So you're actively pressing the shoulder blades apart. Tuck the chin, stretch to the back of the neck. And then inhale, come back to a neutral spine here. And what I want you to feel that you're doing now with your shoulder blades is that you're pressing the tops of your shoulder blades apart. And you're bringing the bottom tips of your shoulder blades towards one another. Now, without losing that, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and slowly go back into a downward facing dog pose. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Stretch through the spine. Reach back through the sitting bones. Reach out through the crown of your head. So again, your chin is tucked. You're reaching actively through the top of your head. Stretch out through your arms. And then look forward and step to the top of your mat. You might take multiple steps to get there. Come into a forward fold and grab onto your elbows. Relax your head. Sway your body side to side. And now let's do some circles. So sway over to the right and come all the way up. Keep holding onto your elbows. And in a circular motion, come up to the top. Stretch your elbows high and then circle down into the left. Now make sure that you're keeping your knees soft here, maybe even bent quite a bit. Inhale, again, come up through the right. Deep stretch at the top. Exhale, down to the left. And one more time like that. Inhale. And exhale. Pause at the bottom. And let's do that to the other side. So left sweep to the left, up. Inhale. And exhale, circle down to the right. Inhale up. And exhale down. One more time like that. Big circle with the body. And fold. Now on your inhale, come up halfway and straighten your back. I want you to stay here for a second. So you might grab a block here. Block is kind of nice to use. So either I want your hands pressing against the block or against your shins. Okay, so wherever your hands are, I want you to push, 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 and use that pressure of your hands against the block or against the legs to help you really telescope the spine forward. So stretch your hips back and stretch the crown of your head forward and really straight spine. So you're using your back muscles here to stretch the back. And then exhale and fold. And come all the way up to standing. Strong legs. So always come up in a way that feels good for you. You might roll up, you might come up with a straight back. Arms overhead, and then exhale, bring your hands down to your heart center. Tadasana, mountain pose. Sweep your arms up over your head. I want you to grab onto your left forearm, kind of hug that bicep towards your ear, and stretch over to the right. And I'm going to lift my right heel up and just feel that long, deep stretch through under the arm, through the rib cage. And then come back to center and do that on the other side. So grab your right forearm and lift your left heel and bend over to the left. Back to the middle. Cactus your arms. Push your chest up to the sky. And now flip your cactus upside down. Step your feet as wide as your mat. Turn the toes out. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Now really open up here through the chest and the front of the shoulders. So you might keep your elbows bent. The other thing I see a lot here is as we start to go back and we start to open up here through the chest is we'll start to hyperextend through the low back. So at the same time that we're bending deeply in the upper back, I still want you to think about keeping your navel pulled in towards your spine or pulling the rib cage in. So you might keep a bend in your elbows here. And now bend your knees a lot and come down into a forward fold. And when I get down here in this position, I like to kind of sway from side to side, twist a little bit. And let's come down for Malasana or a squat. So I'm going to release my hands and come into a squat here. So when you're here, for now, I want you to push your arms back against your legs and squeeze your legs back into your arms. And just like we did with the hands on the block or the hands on the legs, is we're using that pressure to help us really stretch the spine. Breathe. And now you can stay here if you're feeling like you want to do a little arm balancing or just start playing with your crow pose. You can play with that. So if you know it, go into it. Something you can do that is really a great place to start is just start by bringing your knees to the backs of your arms and then doing the same thing you're doing in your squat. So you're pushing your knees against your arms and then you're pushing your arms back into your knees. And then maybe shift your weight forward a little bit. Maybe pick up one foot and then the other foot. Both feet. Breathe. And let's step back into a plank position. Take a few breaths here. Find your focus. You can always bring your knees down and modify your plank. Long back of the neck, strong legs, belly lifted. And then as slowly as you can from your knees or from your toes, I want you to lower all the way down onto your belly. And just lay your forehead down on the mat. Now we're going to do something a little different here, kind of similar to what we were doing on our knees earlier. So I want you to take your hands behind you and again place one hand on top of the other on your sacrum. Now really push down into the tops of the feet. This exercise is going to really help you to feel the strength in your back body. So as you push down into your feet, on an inhale, we're going to lift the head and the chest up. And at the same time, I want you to sweep your left arm out and bring it forward to a salute. And then as you exhale, lower down and turn your head to the right. And now do that on the other side. Push down into your feet. Inhale, lift up into a back extension, salute on the right. And exhale, turn your head to the left. Inhale, left arm, lift up. Exhale, turn the head to the right. And again, inhale. And turn your head to the left. This time, keep both hands on the sacrum and just lift up. Shoulders back, chest open. And lower all the way down to your belly. Bring your hands in line with your chest. Now hug the elbows in. Press the tops of your shoulder blades apart. Bring the bottom tips together. Pull your belly up and in. And on an exhale, we're going to push up either through tabletop or a modified plank or a full plank. And then go back to your downward facing dog and really reach and stretch back through the hips. Again, your knees are as soft as they need to be to create more length and extension through your spine. Breathe. I want you in your down dog, I want you to experience a feeling of rising and falling with your breath. So your body again is soft enough that that movement is happening in the body. So from your down dog now, on your inhale, lift your right leg up and then open up your hips. So start to stack your right hip on top of your left hip. Think about hugging your outer left hip in. You might bend the knee, you might circle the foot. Keep the shoulders strong and stable, the arms active. And now on your next exhale, bring your knee towards your right elbow. So you might just point it in that direction. You don't have to come very far forward, or you might touch the arm with the knee. On your inhale, stretch your leg back behind you. And as you exhale, take your knee now towards your left arm. Point it in that direction or touch it. Inhale, reach back. And exhale, come up really high on your back toes and pull your knee in really close to your belly. Now I want you to think cat pose. So round your spine and then softly step your foot through towards your hand. So you might even use your right hand to help you get that foot up there. Now come up to your fingertips. Squeeze your thighs together and come on up into a high lunge, crescent lunge pose. You can reach the arms up overhead. Make sure that you're not feeling stress around your shoulders and your neck when you've got your arms up. So you can always cactus the arms. You can go a little wider with the arms. Breathe. Think about hugging your outer hips in as well as your inner thighs to help stabilize you. And now we'll add a little bit of movement here. So go ahead and cactus your arms now if they're not already bent and hug the elbows in really close to the body. Push your chest up towards the sky. Inhale, reach your arms back up. And as you exhale, come forward for a runner's lunge. So lean forward. Don't collapse. So keep your chest open. Keep your legs strong. Reach your arms back behind you. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. And exhale, bend backwards. Push the chest up towards the sky. Inhale, reach up. And reach back. Runner's lunge. Long spine. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. So you're moving with your own breath. Exhale, bend back. Inhale, reach back up. And now hold your runner's lunge. Start to shift your weight forward over your right leg. We're going to lift that left leg up for a minute for a warrior 3 variation. And now step your left foot forward, sit back into chair pose. Weight is in the heels, shoulders down the back. So notice how I have my arms a little wider to give me more space around the shoulders and the neck. Take another inhale here, and as you exhale, dive forward. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift, straighten the spine. And as you exhale, plant your hands, step back into a plank position. And we're going to take a vinyasa transition together here. So take an inhale, and as you exhale, lower down slowly through chaturanga. So you can do that from the knees or from the toes. On your inhale, find a back bend. So you might take a low cobra, you might take a full cobra, you might take an upward facing dog. I've been babying, I've got some stuff going on with my left shoulder right now, so I've been very careful in modifying my practice for that. And then lower down and press yourself all the way back up. So again, you can do that through the knees or through the toes and back into your downward facing dog pose. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Feel that rise and fall again. Soft knees. Notice if you tend to lock your knees back in your down dog. On your inhale, lift your left leg up. And then stack your left hip on top of your right hip. Maybe bend the knee, maybe circle the foot. Stretch out through the arms. On your next exhale, bring your knee towards your left arm. So again, you might just point it there. You might hold a plank and point in that direction. You might touch. Inhale, reach back and stretch. Exhale, bring your knee towards your right arm. One more time, inhale. And exhale, we're going to step through. Come up to the fingertips. When you're ready, feel stable and strong, come on up into your high lunge. Breathe. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, bend back. Elbows in. Press the chest up towards the sky. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, runner's lunge. Inhale. And exhale, bend back. Inhale. And runner's lunge. One more time like that. Now hold the runner's lunge. Slowly shift the weight. Lift that back leg up. Hug your outer left hip in. Step your feet together, chair pose. And now stand all the way up. Inhale. Hands to heart. Tadasana. We good? Good?
Good.
Okay. Now, standing at the top of the mat, we're going to do a little more balancing. Surprise, surprise. Shift the weight over into your left leg. Hands on your hips. Pick up your right knee. So with your hands on your hips, you should be able to feel if like your left hip kind of pops out. You want to keep the hips really strong and steady here. And then grab onto your right knee. Now, it might feel good to kind of squeeze your left glute a little bit to help you stabilize that left hip. Now, start to take your knee over to the right. And if your hips are tight, your hips are going to want to turn to the right too. So try to keep your hips pointed straight ahead so your knee may not go out to the right very far. Now, you can also reach your left arm out to the left. You might turn and look to the left. And now bring your knee back to center. And we're going to step back into that high lunge pose again, just for a breath. So take an inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. And now open up into your warrior two pose. And really think about like there's a wall behind you. I want you to press your arms back against it. Press your thighs back against it, especially that left knee that wants to rotate inwards quite often. So you feel really open here through the heart, through the hips. Strong and steady. Find your focus. Now turn your left palm up to the sky and reverse your warrior. So feel the strength in that back leg. Notice again if your left knee is trying to collapse inward, keep pressing it back to that imaginary wall. Feel that deep stretch through the whole left side of the body. And then as you exhale, come into your side angle pose. So bring your forearm to your thigh and stretch your right arm over your ear. And so you feel a long straight line running from the heel, through the leg, through the hip, through the whole right side of your torso, out through the arm. And now push your left forearm into your left thigh and begin to twist and open up a little bit more. Turn your chest up to the sky. Breathe deeply. And now come back to your warrior two pose. Inhale. As you exhale, bring windmill your left arm, right arm. I'm going to lift that back heel up and bring my left hand to my sacrum. Now reach through the right arm and then bring it down to the mat. You might like using a block here to place your hand on inside of that left foot. Keep your hand on your sacrum. Left hip back, right hip forward, and now twist to the left. And as you keep twisting, every time you inhale, find more length. Every time you exhale, maybe find a little more twist, and you might have to still keep thinking about bringing that left hip back, right hip forward. Now, this is where I'm not going to bring my left arm up because it doesn't feel great for my shoulder right now, but you might want to reach your left arm up to the sky. Breathe. And now release the twist. Plant your hands. Left leg goes back to meet right leg. Now I'm going to roll over onto my right side. No, let's go left side first. Side plank. Okay, so you can always bring your left knee down and go that way. It's going to give you a little more stability. And make sure that you are lifting up and out of your left shoulder. You're using your obliques, your hip strength, your leg strength. Maybe you try lifting that top leg or taking some other expression that feels good to you. And again, you should feel good around your left shoulder. And now come back to plank. And go back to down dog and walk your feet in a little bit. We're going to take a twist here. So left arm, reach the left hand over and grab onto the outside of your right leg for a twist. Keep your right arm strong, right shoulder stable. Soften the knees, bend the knees as much as you need to keep that length through the spine. Come back to down dog and either stay here for a few breaths Or you can take another vinyasa, coming forward to plank, lowering down through chaturanga, inhaling to a back bend, and then coming back to your down dog. If there's something else that calls to you, sometimes it feels good for me just to come forward to plank and then go back to the down dog. You can take a child's pose. So just a few moments here to just kind of see what's calling to you in your body. Lift your heels, look forward, and step walk or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold. Rise to standing. Bring your hands to your heart. Tadasana. Bring your hands to your hips. And we'll shift the weight over into the right leg. Lift the left knee up. And notice again if you tend to kind of collapse into that right hip. So stay lifted. Lift your hip up off of the thigh. Grab onto your left knee. And take your knee to the left and try to keep the hips pointed straight ahead. This is where I start to feel a little bit of a squeezing sensation of the right glute to help stabilize my right hip even more, and reach the right arm out. If that feels good, you can turn your gaze to the right. Continue to stand tall, to breathe deeply. And now bring the knee forward and step back to your high lunge. Take one inhale and then open up, warrior two. Again, think open through the chest, open through the hips. Gaze is forward, back the neck is long. Turn the right palm open, reverse. Feel the strength in the back leg. Stretch through the right arm. Feel that stretch through the rib cage, through the hip. And then side angle pose. Forearm to thigh. So the left arm the hand can stay on the hip. You can reach the hand up. You can go over the head. Again, I'm kind of staying away from bringing my left arm up for right now. Every time you inhale, expand. Feel the expansion. Feel the length in your spine. Every time you exhale, twist maybe a little bit deeper. And now come back to the warrior two. Inhale. And take your right arm forward and down, left arm forward and down, right hand to the sacrum, left hand inside of the right foot, maybe to a block. So remember, left hip back, right hip forward. Extend and lengthen on the inhale, and then twist to the right. Inhale, expand, exhale, twist, navel to spine. The right arm might come up. And release the twist. Find your way back to a plank first. And now roll over to the right side. Lift up and out of the right shoulder as you go. Right knee can come down first and stay there. Left foot can come out in front. Breathe. Bring your left hand down. Down dog, walk your feet in. Reach over with your right hand. Take a twist. Grab onto the leg, left leg. Stretch through the left arm. and then release. Take a couple breaths here. This is a time you can take a vinyasa if you'd like, hold a plank, take a child's pose, hold down dog, and just breathe. There's no rush, but once you find your way back to down dog, we're just going to walk the hands back now to the feet. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. Strong legs bring you up. Hands to heart, Tadasana. Put your hands back on your hips, and we're going to step into the left foot and come into tree pose. So bring your right foot to your ankle, to your calf, or to your thigh. And you can keep your hands on your hips for a second and just feel, again, that the hips are level. And then if you'd like, you can take your arms overhead or maybe cactus the arms. And now we're going to bring the hands behind the back. So interlace your fingers again. Shoulders back, chest open. Keep your hands behind your back. Bring your right knee forward. Step forward. Pick up your left heel, pick up the left toes, and come back into a different variation on your warrior three. So you can be doing this with a belt or a strap as well. And now come on up and lift your left knee up. Put your hands on your hips. Step forward with your left foot. Pick up your right knee. Take your arms over your head. And then wrap your right elbow under your left as you sit down into eagle pose. So I've got my right knee crossed over my left knee. The right toes can come down to the ground for a little extra support here as well. Breathe. Really bring the elbows and the shoulders down. So the spine is really straight. Tuck the chin, back the neck long. Keep your arms in eagle pose, but lift your right knee back up and step back to warrior two. So it's going to feel a little weird because your arms are in eagle, but I'm going to turn my hips to the right, my hips and my shoulders to the right. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, now dive forward with your eagle arms. Now, some people like to go right down the middle, and for some it feels better to come forward a little bit, so more to the left. That's fine. Now, as you come down, keep pressing your left knee back. Energetically pull your heels in. Breathe. Try to relax the head down. Good. Now push into your feet. Come all the way up. Unravel your arms. Straighten your left knee. And now triangle pose. Reach forward. I like using a block here. And then put your left hand down on a block, or maybe bring it to the leg or to the mat. Try not to lock the knees back here. Every time you inhale, expand. Every time you exhale, you might twist a little deeper. So as you're turning your head here, you might look down at the foot, you might look straight ahead, or you might look up at your hand, but keep that tuck of the chin, especially before you turn the head. Put your hand on your hip. Look out in front of your left foot. Scoot your back foot in. Half moon pose. So you can bring your block with you. Lift your right leg up. Stack your right hip on top of your left. Breathe. You can always do this against a wall your back against a wall and practice it that way. Now we're going to step all the way back and in to goddess pose. So as slowly as you can, just step back and then turn both knees and toes outward, elbows in, shoulders down the back. Breathe. Now adding a little movement here. Inhale, straighten the knees, reach up. As you exhale, cross your hands behind your head and then bend the knees again and push out through the palms. Inhale. Exhale, push it out. Inhale. Last time, exhale, push it out, hold here, and now let's lift the heels up away from the ground. Keep pushing. Keep breathing. Bring the heels down, straighten the legs, turn your toes in, arms can go overhead, and now exhale, dive forward for a wide-legged forward fold. Take your time, coming down, you can put your hands wherever you want them to go. Just a couple of breaths here. You might shake out the head. On your inhale, lift halfway. And now bend into your left knee and just spin around, face forward. Plant your hands. You can go straight back into a down dog. You can also take a vinyasa. Take a couple breaths. Walk your hands back to your feet from your down dog. Lengthen halfway. Forward fold. Come all the way to standing. And bring your hands to your heart. Put your hands on your hips. You should be standing at the back of your mat. Benjamin. And we're going to come into that tree pose. So shift your weight over into your right foot. Put your left foot on your ankle, your calf, or your inner thigh. Press your foot into your leg and your leg back into your foot. Stand up really tall. Arms can come out or up. Remember, it's perfectly normal to fall out and just bring yourself right back into it. We're going to bring the hands behind the back again. Interlace the fingers. Go the opposite way this time with your grip, if you can remember. Chest open. Keep the elbows bent if you need to. And then bring the left knee forward. Step forward with your left foot. Pick up the back foot and come into your warrior three with your arms behind you. Keep your right leg really strong and active. Left hip strong. Breath full. Come back up. Bring your knee up. Put your hands on your hips. Step forward with your right foot. Pick up your left knee. Arms overhead. Inhale. Left arm crosses under right as you cross your left knee over your right knee. Eagle pose. Garadasana. Tuck the chin, back of the neck long, elbows down, shoulders down the back. Think left hip forward, right hip back, and breathe. Slowly just unravel the legs. Step back to your warrior two, arms and eagle. Take an inhale and then begin to dive either straight down the middle or slightly over to the right. Relax the head down. push into the feet, rise up. Straighten the arms out first. Straighten the right knee. And triangle pose. My block is always just barely out of reach. Every time. Okay. Twist the spine. With each inhale, straighten the spine. Back of the neck long. And let's take one more balance here. So look forward and scoot the back foot in, half moon. Back leg lifts, stack the left hip on top of the right. Keep breathing. Goddess pose. Knees wide, elbows in, shoulders down the back. On your inhale, straighten your knees. Cross your hands behind you. Exhale, push. Again, inhale. Exhale. And last one, inhale. Exhale, push it out, hold it out, and lift the heels. And bring the heels down, straighten the knees, turn the feet in again, wide-legged forward fold. Take your time. On an inhale, lift halfway. And just spin around. One more vinyasa if you would like, or straight back to your down dog. Come forward to plank. Bring your forearms to the mat. Lower into Sphinx pose. Walk your elbows forward, pull your chest through your arms. And we're going to get a little quad stretch here. So bend your left knee, reach back, and either grab onto the inside or the top of your left foot and bring the heel towards your hip. Release, and do the other side. So we're getting that stretch through the chest too here as you bring that right shoulder back. And release. Lower down. And from here, I just want you to roll over onto your back. So if you have a block handy, you might want a block. And we're going to just do one more thing before going into Shavasana, which will be either a supported bridge, so you just lift your hips enough to put the block underneath your hips, or you can extend your legs out here as well. If you want to take legs up the wall, that's a great option as well. Try to relax the hips, try to relax the whole front of the body. Something else you might want to do here is bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees open up for Supta Baddha Konasana. If you're comfortable where you are and you'd like to take your Shavasana in the pose that you are in now, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, you can come into a traditional shape and extend the arms and the legs out. Make sure that your body stays in good alignment. The heart stays open. So you might tuck the shoulders in underneath you a little more, tuck the chin a little more, and then relax. Let everything go. As your mind wanders, bring it back into the present, into your body, back to your breath. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana a little longer, please do. Otherwise, begin to deepen your breath. Be gentle with yourself, but eventually find your way over onto your side. And up to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together at your heart center. And bow your head in honor of yourself, in honor of your practice, and in honor of one another. Namaste. Thank you.
See you in the new year.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. 2021, but lots of cool, fun stuff coming.